Welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And a viewer wrote in and said they're having some psychic disturbances. And I just have to say, I have now installed a system. If you didn't catch it the first time, it's the square, the circle, and the triangle, which is the symbol of the mystery schools. Why did I do that? Because I went through a mystery school. And why else did I do that? Is because I'm trying to take all of the superstition, uh, the religious garbage, uh, just the myth making, and remove it and give you the bare bones skeletal structure on how to master yourself and master your energy to live the life that you want in this dimension, but then also give you tools if you like to dabble in magical and spiritual practices. And so, as I thought about the question, you know, my creative genius starts giving me answers. And it's like, when there's a problem, meditate. When you're having a difficulty, meditate. When you're sick, meditate. When your relationship is falling apart, meditate. What does meditation do? But brings your energy back to you, brings your soul back to you. It strengthens you. But then it also empowers you uh, to have access to overcome obstacles, to get the clarity. And so a lot of times we think, oh, I'm having a spiritual, magical, mystical problem. I need spiritual and magical tools to solve it. You know, I need to call on an ancestor. I need to call on a god or a goddess, summons an angel or a demon. Uh, and we quickly dismember ourselves. We quickly fall into these collective traps over the centuries that you need a spell for this, you need a card reading for that, you need to manipulate, you need to do something. And the best form of doing when you're moving into the spiritual planes, like I said in my last video, is being. Being is the Eastern way of doing. And this is the whole problem with the modernization Western mindset. I need to do something. I need to take a sacrament. I need to do the ritual of the cross. I need to cast a circle. I need to try harder. I need to put on a bigger smile. I need to text my boyfriend back. There's all this doing and effort, which you could consider pushing. And when you push, the pendulum swings back and it pushes back at you, and you have resistance. But if you do it in reverse, B, then it flips the script, it changes the paradigm, it reverses the energy, and things start working in your favor. So that's the power of being. So now that I've kind of lectured on that, you know, as the crazy old man, beware, beware, whoa, you know, uh, of course, we're going to go to those dangerous places. That's where the excitement's at. Of course, we're going to be egotistical and say, oh, this won't happen to me. And then we're going to find ourselves under spiritual attack, magical attack, entity attack, alien attack, who knows? You're going to find yourself out of the frying pan and into the fire. And there's no way around it, I've decided, you know, as I was kind of feeling my way into this conversation. I was like, that is our nature. Humanity is going to get themselves in trouble. You say don't do that, they're going to do it. And it's because it's curiosity, and that's where expansion is going to happen. So I would definitely, one form of magical psychic protection that I have been doing over the years is stripping out uh, fearful stories, disempowering stories, false, superstitious stuff. You know, don't don't cross the street, or if a black cat crosses your path, danger. I'm like, go pet that black cat. Uh, don't walk under a ladder. You know, go walk under that ladder, see what happens. So you got to challenge your experience. Go challenge the spirit. Is it truly a evil, negative entity here to destroy you and humanity? Is what it's saying true? Go shake its hand, Go sit down and have a conversation. Discover and find out for yourselves. I think we maybe get caught up in our inner child, go into fear, go into disempowerment, when really the opposite is true. Once you start learning the Kabbalah, you find out the earth plane is what all the upper planes were trying to create. The manifested universe is their creation project. And so you are the sum total of the upper planes. That's why everything pours into the earth and into the moon sphere. That's why the upper planes pour in. And that's why the Kabbalah is basically called receiving. You could call it the book of receiving. And the Kabbalah was chosen as the blueprint for Western Mystery School for a reason. Because within the Kabbalah system, you get the four worlds. You get the abyss, you get the spheres, you get the hidden sphere, you get as above, so below, you get as within, so without, you get polarity. And so you quickly move into scientific dynamics of working with energy and creating the shaman roadmap into the unknown. And so this shaman roadmap is used as a template to discover where you are, whether you're in a dream, whether you find yourself in another dimension, the realm of soul, where shamans go, or whether you're seeking to roadmap your everyday life out in the physical world, or your own psychology, or your emotions. You can plug it into the spheres. You can work the 22 paths. If you want to get deeper insights into tarot, you can plug in the cards. Wow. And so it's a very practical tool that's been handed down over the ages. And believe it or not, the tree of life, that symbol was even in Egypt, that pattern has been basically given / stolen out of Egypt millennia ago. Okay? So its foundation. So this is where we're moving from religion, which is bypassing, spiritual bypassing, where you don't have to be responsible, where you're totally codependent and pedestalizing forces outside of you, people outside of you. So you give your power away to the culture called whatever religion it is. You give your power away to the book, to the teachings. You give your power away to the priest or priestess who is sharing that knowledge, to the rituals, and to the source of it all, supposedly that deity in the sky. That's all out. You're outsourcing all of that. You're paying your way into some spiritual place, and you don't do any personal growth. You don't become the spiritual warrior. Spirituality is the opposite. You say, fine, thank you very much. This may or may not be true, but I'm not here to please you. I'm here to grow. I'm here to learn. I'm here to lift those spiritual weights through discipline, through practice, through purification, through managing myself, becoming the best version of myself. So you study, you grow, you explore. It's not about faith and belief. It's not about putting your trust in a spell, putting your trust in a healer. It's about putting your trust in yourself. So it's that third chakra. If you don't have a strong sense of self, how are you going to deal with negative forces coming your way that are opposing you? So you have to have willpower. And you have to clear out those lower three chakras. So where however high you get. So a lot of people when they go into new age world, they want to astral project, like the lady a couple days ago in the group we were in, or they want to turn on their psychic gifts, and that's great and all. But then you find out you've opened yourself up to a whole new reality. What about going to work and driving your car and feeding your kids? What about carrying on meaningful relationships here? I mean, we chose to be here. We are here. You're a part of the experience and you have a body. So, this escapist mentality, like, who said the whole point is to return to source? That's a new age myth, you know? That's superstitious. The universe is expanding. We're not going back to source, we're moving farther away. We're moving out. It's still an explosion outward to the farthest reaches of the universe, inside of ourselves and outside of ourselves. The return journey may not be the correct direction. We are not salmon swimming back upstream to spawn at the usual spawn place. No, you're a human being. And we find ourselves here. So don't give so much power away to the stories, the myths. So when an experience is happening to you, you might want to frame it using the only thing that you know, your brain that's been loaded with stories. Instead, just explore where you're at. You know, there's no reason to go into fear. There's no reason to label it. So it's like everything that you would do in the spiritual realms, your training is actually in the physical realms. So a really good example is I go to work, I get on the tracks. I go through the city to get to my place of work. And and there's a variety of people there from all walks of life having different experiences, all different levels of mental health, financial health, emotional health, and spiritual health. And I would say it's more on the lower end, you know, it's desperation. It seems to be a lot of that, depending upon the hour that you're riding the tracks and the season. And I'm not expecting it to be a pleasant experience. So, how do I protect myself? Well, I don't dress like a millionaire. I have nothing to prove. So, I dress down for the experience. When I moved to the city, I learned dress down. Uh, Kind of like almost like dim your light. You got to not to stand too much out, or every person is gonna ask you for money. They're gonna beg, assuming you have any. Hello, who has enough money? I know I don't. So they're always mistaking. If I hold myself up so well, then I must have something that they don't. And the reality is, I don't. What I have is immaterial. It's called self worth. It's called confidence. It's called, I'm living my life. And they may not have figured out. But so it's like, how do you dress them down in the spiritual world? Do you want spirits hanging on you left and right, interfering with your job and your waking life? So there's usually training. Unfortunately, most people don't take the time to train. And so the best thing to do is meditate. Meditation clarifies your chakras. Meditation strengthens you. And unfortunately, the path of the wizard is a razor's edge. A wizard is someone who has access to other dimensions, and has spent enough time in these other dimensions to cross that bridge back and forth like the shaman and bring forth stuff. So, Einstein, Tesla, these great genius minds were open to a certain area of the upper realms or other dimensions. And they had a natural bridge there, or they created that natural bridge. And they brought forth inventions, they brought forth equations, and were leading scientists. So when we think of spirituality, you don't have to always think of low class magic and low class energy healers who are doing what feels good, fluff and buff, stay in the light, shallow. You can think of scientists, cutting edge research into meditation. So, there's technology trying to explore the spirit world. Do spirits exist? There's a lot of research actually going on behind the scenes with the astral plane and manipulating the whole planet. If you weren't aware of that, it's been going on at very high places. You're not learning ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and how to balance your checkbook. You're learning about how do we master the other realms before the average person does. How do we maintain control of these lower upper planes to keep humanity under control? Guess what? That's going to be a losing battle because we're too curious. So, anyways, moving on. Number 1, don't do magic if it's not fun. Don't go be a healer working with souls if it's not fun. Don't be summoning entities if it's not fun. Don't go on a spiritual revolution if it's not fun for you. So go where the fun is. Now this is that, and I say that because it can get really serious, and you have to have a real desire to be working in these realms. Otherwise, just consider it you're learning and you're exploring. But when you got to know when your education is done, you're like, yeah, I took that class, I learned calculus, I don't want to stay in a career with calculus, so I just wanted to know that it was there. It's time to say goodbye. Move on to the next thing. Yeah, I explored family life, playing dad, playing mom, playing kids. That's not really what I want. I went into it, I gave it my best shot, I realized it's not for me, time to close that door and move on. So I do have access to the lower realm, which is the easiest to get into shamanism. I've been there, I done that, I played it, and then I got kicked out. Pretty much the beings that kind of run the underworld were like, you didn't do anything bad. Like, you didn't do anything serious enough to warrant a stay in the underworld, so it's time for you to leave. And I got booted out. So, can I go there as needed? But is it a permanent residence? Did I earn that jail cell in the underworld? The answer is no. But for my own personal education, I went through the underworld. For my own personal education, I went to the upper world. I met my angel, and pretty much ever since moving to the upper realm, I realized I could have the cool experiences that I did in the underworld, but now I can do this all in the upper realm. It's not like a dangerous place. So it was a no-brainer to skip under the underrealm and move up to the upper realm. So knowing this, now I could go play in the underworld because I have a way to get out and move up, or call on upper world assistance when I'm in lower world experiences. But anyways, do I really want to? You gotta go. What is your life about? So, one of the dangers of all this stuff is that we don't really take it. There are real dangers. You have to kind of, on one hand, be lighthearted about it. Is it fun? Is it loving? But then there's this serious edge. Oh, it's dangerous. People do lose themselves in the underworld. You can actually die from a spiritual or energetic attack. And it's not going to be coming from Susie down the street. It's not going to be coming from that old hag witch. I mean, that may hurt a little bit. It may sting, but true, like, there's entities that are way more powerful than us. And you might accidentally run into one of them. And you might be staying there in 5 minutes in their realm, and it costs you your physical life, where time runs differently in this realm. Or you may enjoy being in the upper realm with your angels so much, you neglect your life, your family, your kids, your responsibility. You don't get what you were here for in this life, and you lose it. So you go crazy keeping your psychic senses open all the time, trying to be special. So that's why it's so dangerous. Also, I think it just slows you down getting into magical and psychic attacks with people in this realm and also beings in the other realm. So if you don't want to slow down on your spiritual evolution, I would try to avoid conflict. And once you really have that resolve in yourself, most entities will leave you alone. And if you don't have a strong enough aura because you were taught to bring all your energy out, then lower entities that are bound to the earth plane, because the earth plane is dense and they're dense, will be pestering you. So once you've opened a plane of existence, that door doesn't usually close for people. Every once in a while it pops open and entities harass them from whatever dimension it is. If it's some intergalactic dimension, those entities have access to you. Strong fear, emotions, and beliefs kind of keep wedges in those doors open. So you might need to adjust who you are and what life's about and what your journey is about to close those doors. So the doors get sticky and stay open with drug use. So if you've used spiritual medicine plants or pharmaceutical substances to open doors inside of you, and you really haven't mastered, being still, being centered, being grounded, living your life, being willful, going, then if you really haven't strengthened a stubborn mindset, then you can have trouble. Now, if you second guess yourself, if you're a do-gooder, if you're all love and light, you probably cave in a lot. You probably have boundary issues in your physical reality, and therefore it plays out in the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm is kind of more dangerous because it messes with your emotions in your mind. But when you start taking full responsibility, going, okay, I'm going to be accountable here. I cave in when someone pressures me. Therefore, when a spirit pressures me or an energy comes at me through a hex, it's pressuring me. I cave in and get cursed. I cave in and have an unwanted guest in my house, And so you have to work on strengthening your willpower, standing up for yourself. And you'd be like, well, how do I do that? A simple ritual, like casting a circle will do it. So your basics are the building blocks to create complexity, but also the self-mastery. So it's not easy to sit still with your spine straight. It's not easy to dedicate yourself to a workout problem, working out every day or every other day, however that is. A discipline. You need a discipline, And so You need enough reasons to be here on the planet. Taking a cooking class, growing and developing a relationship with another human. That, I would say, is definitely one of the reasons why did we incarnate? If we're all one in spirit and we all want to be one, don't you think we're supposed to be in relationships? So creating healthy relationships. So that doesn't mean focusing on the other person. It means, we gotta first correct the fundamental problem. You're probably an overgiver and you're so concerned about other people, you've developed these psychic abilities to assist others, and you've dismembered yourself. You've split yourself. You've cast yourself across the cosmic ocean. One of you is on the planet Sirius, the other one is in angel realm, the other one is in the realm of broken souls, and you're receiving all this data. You're having psychic and spiritual experiences and you think you're evolving. No, what you did is you've just split your consciousness up. You've split your energy, your astral body. You're fragmented, and then you go, I'm a multi-dimensional being. And I'm like, this is the dangers. Yes, kind of. And no. You have now disassociated, fragmented your mind, spirit, body, soul. You've dismembered yourself. Literally, you put a piece of your consciousness in some other reality, and that's why you're having visions and communicating. Now, if you didn't want to do that, you got to bring it back. Where are you supposed to bring it back? Here. So, if you didn't know, a lot of shamans die early because they're spending so much time in the astral plane that you're leaking energy, and it takes energy to maintain the double body or multiple bodies. This multi-dimensional experience, it takes energy. The superstition is salvation. The superstition is there is better than over here. Nature put you over here, so nature wins. The best place for you to be is in your body. That is self-protection. That is psychic protection. If you notice, people who work out a lot don't have psychic disturbances because a lot of their energy goes into feeling, working with their body. And so their energy, their focus. So if you really, career people don't get a lot of psychic disturbances either. They're focused on their job, their success, their development. So that becomes their spiritual dojo. It could be the office, it could be the career, it could be being a parent, could be being a caregiver, but probably not, because that's usually the problem. So, but it is an example. Taking pride in a skill. So it could be painting, could be listening to music, could be creating something. And that will help close psychic doors and experiences that you don't need. You're going to magnetize all your parts and pieces back. So we're really talking about New Agers psychically fragment themselves. Then they think they're having true psychic and clairvoyant and spiritual abilities. I'm going to say yes and no. But what's really going on is you're dismembering yourself. Then you have like a crazy cult leader sucking on your energy, or someone in your group. So if you're going to choose to expand your energy field and have these experiences, I would say be careful and be wise about it. Realize these are the actual dangers. And so if you're going to, pack a knife, pack a gun, so I went and took martial arts. So I wouldn't have to pack a weapon. I could be the weapon. So when you develop your martial art spiritually is meditation. You become so strong, your will dominates and overthrows the other person. So being strong-willed has to happen if you're really going to survive or do anything productive with your spiritual abilities that you have now found for yourself. So, and then you're going to have to decide what you want to do with it. I decided I really just like to explore realms, understand things, figure out how the universe works. I don't really want to save people. I don't want to bring them to the light of Christ like my former master. She felt like she was called to save souls and bring them all back to Christianity, even though she doesn't live a Christian lifestyle. So, good luck. That's not my purpose in life. So we separated ways. Uh, you know, I I don't really know about evolution, like evolving yourself. I think if you evolve yourself, you do it through experiences. So every bad experience, so this is where New Age dies. Every bad experience is good for you. So if you get in a knife fight, expect to get cut. If you expect to train to be a master knife fighter, you're going to have some scars. You're going to have some history. Same with if you're going to play in the spiritual realms. You're probably going to have a few, or even in magical realms, you're going to have a few negative experiences. If you live to tell the tale, if it didn't kill you and made you stronger, you've just leveled up in power. So that's the other way besides meditation and learning to navigate and get familiar with these realms and familiar with certain beings is surviving. Wouldn't it be cool if we could just love and light it, play in the shallow forever? But the reality is, no, it's dangerous. The playground is dangerous, you know? Meeting new people is dangerous. There's toxic people everywhere. So slow down. I mean, you kind of have forever to explore this stuff. I would say, and good timing. Don't be doing this shit when you're in a bad mood. Don't be doing this when you have a negative motive. Or do it. You know, it's very much situational depending upon what you're doing and why you're going there. But also limit your time there. Come back. The energy circuit, besides going up towards ascension, is coming back for integration. So if you're having